welcome everyone to today's Rockland Board of Sewer Commissioners working session. I don't have my blue stuff to read, so the stuff that's on my agenda is the stuff we're gonna talk about, some stuff we may talk about as far as permitted by law. That'll take a motion to open the meeting.
Motion open the meeting.
A second,
Second.
all in favor, Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
Mr. Ashland, yes, meeting is open. What I want to do is have, I don't know if Robin's gonna be a part of that. Robin?
Yeah.
You wanna talk about fees, or you wanna wait?
You want this, Judge?
Then why don't we open up with fee discussion?
Do you have something I can refer to?
You can print a copy for you?
I did not.
No, I did not. And I must have, because I know I put it in there.
Thank you.
That's what I put in.
Okay.
Please tell me I gave that out.
No, you didn't. I just gave it.
Okay, so what I was proposing is to increase the basic user fee. So currently we pay $10 per quarter, which generates $40 per year per account, which comes out to $236,000. I was proposing to raise it to $15 to cover, well, to generate excess income and cover a senior discount. And that discount would be to take away the basic user fee annually. The qualifications for that were going to be seniors who apply for and qualify for the 41C discount on the real estate taxes. That doesn't target all seniors that are income-based, because I'd have to figure out a way to target those seniors that are in developments such as Leisure Woods, where they pay their taxes through their HOA fee. So I'll be working on that. So for this year, the proposal would be, there are 68 41C participants, so it will cost us $2,700 roughly this year. After speaking with Chuck, the $15 doesn't get us where we need to be. He was proposing $18. After the senior discount, that would generate an additional almost $184,000. In that same discussion, do you want me to go on to
Yep.
the rate? During that same discussion, we currently have 10% on the table for the Weston and Sampson rate study. But looking at our budget and moving forward, that doesn't target where we need to be. So at the time, I believe Chuck was proposing 13.5%, which would bring our current rate, which is $8.15 per 100 cubic feet, up to $9.25 per 100 cubic feet. But I also wanted to remind him that we have a minimum charge right now, which is $45 for consumption. So we take the consumption, well, the system takes the consumption, multiplies it by 0.0815 per cubic foot, and or 815 per 100 cubic feet, however you want to look at it, same equation. And then it raises that up to $45. If it's below that, then it tacks on the basic user rate. So the overall minimum is $55 per quarter. Some of this proposed increase will be absorbed, if we don't raise the minimum, we won't get the benefit of the increase. So my proposal was to bring the minimum up to $70 in total, so it would be raising it to, what was it?
$72 a quarter.
Yeah, raising it to 72 for the consumption and 62.
No, that's 72 for the year.
60, no. Raising the minimum per quarter to 62.
Right, okay, yep.
Adding on 52, so it would go up $77. So from 45 plus 7 to 52 for consumption, and then we would add on the $18 basic user rate, and the new total minimum would be $70. I'm sorry, I jumped in here on the fly, so sorry about that.
No, that's all right, I
How
got it.
much would it, the overall total revenue would be, how much?
70.
The minimum per quarter would be $70, so it would be
Per
52.
bill per quarter.
Yep, 52 for consumption plus the basic user rate of 18.
Okay.
Now, I wanna piggyback onto that. I've had conversations going on with Weston Sampson, and it's still, that's why I wanted today to be discussion and just food for thought, because I wanna keep this going. The only thing I wanna really push to the front is the senior discount. But Weston Sampson is calculating the new rates of what we're proposing for new rates and its impact. That I haven't seen yet. So, I think the first thing you wanted to move on
So,
was that.
Can I speak to, because I did talk with Weston Sampson yesterday.
Okay.
He filled in some of their question and
You need
answers
to-
on rate
Do you need
studies.
this?
Our budget, because of the additional planned upgrade interest, our estimated, when I sent in the budget originally, I estimated a 10% increase. It was kind of a flat 10%. I didn't break it down like you did, probably, just 10%. But with that extra interest payment, we do need to cover an additional 20,000. So today, we as a board need to authorize at least 20,000 more than what was originally submitted on the budget. Now, we can do that today and then continue to look at these increases. If we need to go 13.5, that's fine. Whatever we want to do down the line, we can pursue our plan. The finance committee is voting on everything tomorrow night, so we're really under a bit.
So I cannot wait till tomorrow night, we need to vote on this, we have to know.
We can vote officially tomorrow night, but we need the agreement today so that I can notify town hall.
Do we
Yes,
have the
we would do
20,000
that.
in reserves to vote on it, or do we have to raise the rate before the end of the year to generate the 20,000?
No, this is for FY25 budget.
Right, so do we generate enough revenue this year
I know that's
to
not-
cover what you're asking for?
Is there anything extra for the Steeler?
That's okay, you win.
Wouldn't mind, we can share.
There you go. No, you can have.
Well, it's for Dan.
We did.
So your question again?
So you need another $20,000 to
Correct.
fund next year's budget.
Yes.
Are we gonna have that much revenue coming in
That's,
this year to cover it? Or do we have to raise the rate before year end to generate that 20,000?
we have to raise the rate
Next year,
for, effective for next year,
right.
to cover next year's expenses.
Right,
However, the DOR wants to see that we can do it now, that we are actually able to collect that. So basically,
so we have to raise the rate before July 1st.
we do need to raise the rate before July 1st, which falls into the plan. True?
Yes.
Yes.
How many months in advance?
However, we need to authorize that we will have that additional budget. We just need to say that we are gonna do that.
Okay, what I would like to do, rather than tie up a lot of discussion right now, is just approve, we might as well vote and approve that today. To authorize that
Approve that
20,000.
Yep.
Then have a further discussion on the how and when, maybe we could do that tomorrow night,
Yep.
or
Or whenever,
set up a meeting first thing next week to decide the how and when.
yes. So the board is approving a plan to increase anticipated budget for FY25 by 20,000.
Okay, make the motion.
That is the motion.
Second,
All in favor, Mr. DeRoss,
yes.
Ms. Valley,
Yes.
and Ms. Hutchins, yes.
Can I say one more thing before I leave?
Oh, jeez. Sure.
I feel harassed,
Please.
just wanted to put that out there. I would like for consideration this year for you to pass
Seniors.
a
Yes.
senior discount, which is roughly 2,700. Next year, depending on which proposed rate increase, it'll go up. But for this year, I would like to abate the $40 annual basic user fee in June of this year for all 41C participants
How is that gonna impact
over
our
the age of
budget?
65.
We're only talking how much money overall?
$2,700.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
So
that'll,
will you think about that and vote on
Yeah.
it tomorrow night?
Yeah.
yes, I'd like to vote on that tomorrow night.
Because we're looking at instituting an increase before June, right?
Yes,
So, that'll cover it, yeah.
Right, the let me just back up, cause that's kind of interesting to me. If you vote for the basic user fee to be raised before June, that muddles that arithmetic. If you're just voting for the, increase to the rate prior to June, that doesn't affect it, but if you also raise the basic user rate before June, it will raise the senior abatement.
Okay, you lost me there, Ann, could you, and I'm sorry, but could you
The
just,
abatement is based on the basic user rate, which is
Okay,
currently
yep,
$10, so
yep.
I was gonna abate $40 off of each senior that meets that criteria. If you raise the basic user rate prior to July 1st, that the abatement will go up a little bit per senior.
quit, I'm ahead, I understand now,
Okay,
don't lose me any further.
all right.
No, I'm close.
With that, I think I'm good, right?
Alright,
Do you
Yeah,
need some
I
more
think-
ammo for today?
I think so.
I think I'm good. And
I
who is
think
this? I grabbed somebody's, I think.
That's mine.
Okay, sorry about that.
See, don't, you have bad habit touching on my paperwork.
Right, I know that. I own that one. All right, thank you so much.
Like I said, the fees,
Alright, so
I think,
you're looking at 13.5.
listen, I don't wanna do that, and that's before I
No.
commit that, I need Weston Sampson's verbal input hard, because this is a rock to people.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get hit with the fire station and all that other crap.
Is that definitely gonna go through?
No, we don't know yet, but that's what it's gonna be proposing.
Yeah.
So I think we really need to keep an eye on these fees and really keep it going, because Tuesday, we're gonna have next Tuesday, a really heavy conversation of just solely fees.
Yeah,
It has to be
figure
strictly
out what we're
fees.
doing.
Okay, with that, I wanna go into a drainage discussion. And this is again, just a discussion for tomorrow night. We were all caught a little aback because we didn't understand the situation, so I'm just going to, for this board, go over how I'm gonna present it tomorrow night. You with us?
Still awake.
Okay. As you recall, back in July of last year, we received a letter from Dave Taylor. It says, the Rockland Highway Department took over the town's drainage and started the MS4 compliance permit a little over 5 years ago, okay? We are currently halfway through year 5, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we established a drainage department, okay? Now, if you recall at the time, we had a concern because drainage reported to highway, drainage is the responsibility of the sewer commission. There was no, and that's by town charter, there was no vote, no paperwork, nothing passed about that transfer of authority. And again, I'm just reiterating to where it stands. That transfer authority, that was a gentleman's agreement between the sewer superintendent at the time and Dave Taylor. It never came before the Board of Sewer Commissioners for a vote or discussion. I was on that board. So with that, on August 7th, we supplied a letter to David, and again, I'll read it in so you know whether to go through this whole bullshit tomorrow night, unless you want to read it, and then we can discuss it tomorrow night. Okay, well, anyway, I'm gonna sum it up. Yeah, you wanna mute that? We responded very nicely to David, saying under the town charter, put the town charter, and that basically prohibited the highway department taking over drainage. All right, that's in the town charter. There was never an agreement between the sewer commissioners, a vote, and it never went to town meeting. We also asked Dave to come in and talk about the drainage, to, transfer responsibility. We want to invite him to a monthly meeting to discuss the drainage responsibilities. And I asked for some documentation indicating the transfer of responsibilities when, written approved meetings of the minute where that took place, documentation of the Board of Sewer Commissioners vote of approval, a name, the number of the warrant and date of the town meeting approval of the transfer, copies of the meeting, the minutes from that water, sewer, stormwater committee, and documentation of physical drainage work conducted by the highway department, not subcontracted. Cause I wanted to find out how much of the drainage are they physically doing themselves versus us. I received nothing of that information. Zero. We're very appreciative of the work he did, but anyway, yada yada, you can read it. That's where we stood on that. That was the nearest that was the extent of our correspondence. Now, I believe I copied that letter
Yep.
to Doug Lapp in John Clifford's office.
Yep.
John Clifford's office responded on October 6th with an email that you've all seen, and this is why I wanted to really have this discussion. Nowhere in here did he say that the charter is the sewer department's responsibility. He went on a lawyerese explanation, all that, because I want to do it. That it's a split responsibility technically between three departments.
Right.
I've never seen their budgets for what they allocate for drainage. No one coordinates that budget, which is what I was originally looking for. But if you go to the last paragraph, where is it? It's not that. There was an explanation of, so, okay, on page 1, on the third paragraph, it says, in the Mass General Law chapter, for drainage and stormwater treatment, this is what you've got to listen to. Under said chapter, sewerage is defined as wastewater from homes, public buildings, commercial, industrial establishments. Wastewater. While stormwater is defined as surface runoff from precipitation, specifically addresses ditches and drains for the purpose of draining highways within a town, and states that such ditches and drains shall be under the control of the officer of the highways in town, in any town, okay? That's what I want you to pay attention to for tomorrow night. Because based on that, his letter sending it us this way is for another reason, okay? Now, that was the last correspondence we had regarding drainage. On March 7th of this year, before that, we received a letter from Dave on March 11th stating we'll be proceeding to send all drainage responsibilities to the sewer department. Contradictory of what he said.
Can't do it.
In his July letter.
And our meeting in February.
And at our meeting in February. Okay, now, please let me go on. He's being overwhelmed with drainage calls. Well, we don't have the frickin' staff anyway, but anyway, that's what he got, and I didn't understand why that was being sent to us. Later that night, I got a copy of a notice of violation sent to Dave from Concom, which to me explained why he's passing the ball. Unacceptable. So what I want to do is, so I took the liberty of calling Doug DeLemme, because Doug is head of the chairman of the Conservation Commission, and I wanted to hold on. I said, if we're gonna have that transferred to us, I wanna know what the roles and responsibilities are for drainage. Because in my small world, I look at drainage, water drains into a wetland area. To me, if we set foot in that wetland area, it requires a permit by Mass DEP and Concom. That is my interpretation. I want them to tell me if I'm right or wrong. I happen to think I'm right. Now, of also that conversation was told that there has never been a Concom permit pulled or DEP notified, which by charter, the sewer commissioners are responsible for drainage, which puts the onus of responsibility for not filing on us. Because we, by charter, oversee that. Now, he made a gentleman's agreement that he wants in charge of drainage, but if the defecation hits the rotary oscillator, I don't want him going, it's your problem, which is, to me, is what he did. So, I'm throwing a penalty flag on that. I didn't want to cause anything any dilemma, which is why I'm having Doug Delumy of Concom come in. Now, once,
And our council is saying he's in charge of it.
yeah, but town charter says we are.
Okay.
As far as I'm sure they could change town charter. This was a definite, in my opinion, that letter from town council, Doug sent that to him, was a way of saying, give Dave the authority, not sewer. The hell with the town charter. Which if they wanna do that, great. But because he gets his hand slapped, don't turn around and I'll push it back on us. So, in talking to him being Doug, it also, the question now also arises, came up, said, well, who determines it to be an emergency? And he goes, well, technically it should be them because they're Concom. I said, well, it's been Dave. And I said, we have had our concerns since last year previously because of a job that was done on Beach Street. If you recall, it was an emergency not to exceed $10,000. We approved because we were told that it was an emergency. And I negligently assumed that permits and all that were being pulled. And it was deemed an emergency. Well, that emergency, that contract originally was a not to exceed $10,000. Am I correct or am I wrong? And we also got hit later on with a $28,000 override. Just on that alone, there is a violation of Chapter 30 procurement. Because not to exceed $10,000 should still have gone off the bid.
Mhm.
So there is a procurement violation here. How many others were there? And I want no responsibility for that. Now, this board's gonna have a tough decision to make. If there is a violation of procurement, we have to notify in writing of someone, because if not, it's our responsibility. So what I wanna do is I just want you to keep that thought in your mind. I don't wanna do anything with that right now. But depending on what's said tomorrow night, we may have to make that decision as a board. Now, I went back and I asked Robin for copies of invoices and work on jobs done in drainage last year. You know, what we have is the MS4s, which are a separate entity I'll go into. We all have to pay our fair share of that. That's 3 ways between planning, highway, and sewer. There's some other jobs in here that are not covered, that are all under $10,000. The last one was Spruce Street for $97.50. However, that went over with a police detail. That should have been part of that budget, but maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. But reading that violation, there's gonna be additional work, surveying and other, I want no part of that.
No,
That was a definite
no.
screw up, and I'm not paying 1 cent of that. I will cover, and I think we should cover, the police detail, because as far as we were concerned, it's under $10,000.
Yeah.
But if we have drainage, Mike, what I am gonna ask you to do is I want 3 quotes, 3 different vendors, on any drainage work coming close to $10,000. Now, if there is a drainage call, it's the way I'm gonna approach it, this will be decided tomorrow night, but here's what I'm thinking of doing. If a call from drainage, Dave says, okay, here's a drainage job, which to me is gonna be his job, but let's say it stays as is, he washes his hands coming to us. If it should come to us with a drainage job,
Yeah.
your first contact is gonna be Doug Delumy, Conservation Commission. Doug, is this a wetlands issue? Is it a priority? What permits need to be pulled?
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
But then, 3 quotes on any work. 3 different vendors.
Whatever you want. Sure.
And what I would do is I would go through a book and find out different vendors that we've used or what have you, but give our vendors a chance, right? But I think we should broaden the horizon, because it seems we've gone to 1 or 2 vendors.
Sure.
And again, this may not be our problem, but what I wanna do is be very open. I do not even wanna come close to anyone thinking that we're violating procurement law.
Yep.
Because I do have concerns on it.
I think getting 3 quotes is a good idea no matter what.
Yeah,
In the
I agree.
beginning, we really should get 3 quotes no matter what.
Okay, now, he also sent us an open drainage project updated.
Yeah.
The reason I sent you the old one was I wanted to see what's changed in some of the verbiage. And some of it has changed. So again, you may want to take a look at the open drainage revision 1 and open drainage 2, where he tells us which ones are our responsibility. Now, I've also sent this to Doug Galumi to review as well, and we're gonna be discussing this tomorrow night. Which of these jobs require permits, which do not, just in case we have to take them over. So that's really all I wanna say on drainage. But I have asked Robin to go back to 2020, so we could see what jobs were over 10,000, were there quotes taken, how many quotes. I'm not saying there's something,
Anything else?
I'm not saying there's something wrong, but I wanna be sure. Now, tomorrow night, I'm gonna ask you to go over that list with Doug Galumi as well. Now, what have you come up, just so we know here, what do we have left in the drainage? I think it's like 16 grand,
40 grand,
40 grand?
and then MS4 permits need to come out of that?
Right, that's the other thing we need to talk about too, MS4. MS4, do you wanna delay that to next calendar year or just pay it this year? It can be free. MS4 goes by calendar year.
So in the past, it's just been a monthly invoice.
Right.
So it straddles both years.
Right.
So,
I'd say pay it.
well, not if we're looking at work to be done on drainage.
Yeah, but
I would say MS4, you have to pay no matter what.
Yes, you do.
So I would say, you know what,
But
pay it.
why don't we just continue with the monthly?
I'm leaving that call up to you.
All right, let me
If
look.
you want, I want you to look at it.
Let me look at
What
it.
I want you to do is look at it, but I want Mike to update us now, and then for tomorrow night, we'll have a better, we don't have to take up a lot of time talking about it.
Yeah,
How much are we looking at spending
right.
for drainage the remainder of this fiscal year?
Well, based upon the information, if you look at the spreadsheet, if we just do the top 3. So the top 3 is French Road. The estimated cost on that is $40,000. If you look at 95 and 105 Rice Ave, we're looking at 20 to 25K. If you look at East Water Culvert and 313 East Water Street, without piping, we're looking at 10 to 15K. With piping, we're looking
Where
at
was that, because I don't have that second sheet.
right here.
No, it's down in there.
I have that one
It's towards
sheet.
the bottom.
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom.
The very bottom.
That's right, that's,
All of that.
Rice Ave.
Now you got Rice Ave, and then the very bottom of that you got
Oh,
East,
okay.
Oh, we're missing a line.
East
that's
Water.
all.
Yep. So at the bottom, East Water Culvert and 313 East Water. Without piping, it's 10 to 15K. With piping, it's 20 to 25.
Okay, that East Water, Mike, make a note. That East Water, maybe, we can combine that with the I&I work that's gonna be in that area with the 500,000 we need to discuss. That's in the same area where the pipes have to be replaced. We might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But what we're going to do tomorrow night, what I suggest, you can tell me if this is, what I would suggest is we send this, have you sent a copy of this to Doug Galumi?
No, I haven't sent it yet. No, I haven't sent it yet.
I would send this to Doug Galumi and say, okay, how do you prioritize this list? And do permits need to be pulled?
All right. I don't have his contact information.
Okay, I will get that. I'll send it off to Doug for you this time, and I'll copy you on it so you have it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this to him and say, okay, if this is like I'm looking at French Road,
Yeah.
as permits, they said work is ongoing, have permits been pulled for that?
Right, because he's back there now.
Yep. I also got a call on, what's the street down by you, by, Shingleville, Old Country Way.
Yes.
There's drainage work going on down there, I think, that's not on this.
And that's gonna be a serious problem over there.
So
High water.
Because he said that he wasn't doing anything because.
No, there's a, I've heard, some people have already sent me pictures and everything, that there's culverts, there's barriers, there's a tractor, am I right, is there a tractor down there?
Old
A
Country
backhoe?
Way,
She's down
wait a
here.
minute.
Yeah,
Old Country Way intersects with French Road.
Yes, down
So
there.
I
down by the
believe-
pump station, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So is that equipment for the French Road work?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
But the problem is down there,
French Road may be the project he's talking about, but I'm looking at it's at the end of Old Country Way is
Yeah,
where the drainage is.
It's all, yeah, it's all parked there
and
and
then
there's a whole kind of
some woman
stuff
down there keeps on dumping the trash down that end.
Okay, that's what, that's,
That's-
no, that's,
It fills in the drain.
okay,
So-
is this,
Just to let you know, Chuck, this list that I gave you, this right here,
Yeah.
this is based upon the Word doc Doug Taylor gave us, the latest and greatest, the updated.
Dave Taylor,
The
yeah, okay.
updated one?
Update.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
okay,
based
I
on the
wanna
update.
see this French Road, where's French Road?
It runs parallel to Turner.
It's the first one, it should be French Roads right up top.
No, okay, not on the current one, not in the update,
Number
French Road,
4.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now go to that on the other one, French Road. That's shingle,
No,
okay, it's not,
no, that's behind me.
okay. He might just be storing them.
I think he is.
Okay, so that's what we need to do is we need to have Doug Delemmy go over this list and talk to us. And again, I don't think, based on Clifford and Kenny's interpretation, Dave's letter transferring it over to us works. And that
No, it
conversation.
doesn't work because he dumped it on us 2 weeks before the end of budget period.
Yeah.
We did not anticipate this. We don't have the money, we don't have the expertise.
Well, the
We don't have
expertise,
the staff. He has a drainage clerk staff, you know.
yeah, I know that. Well,
We
that's,
don't have any of
no,
that.
is she gonna transfer over to us, to take Robin's job too?
That's what I wanna know.
So I think this is gonna morph into something larger than it is. And I think it's gonna come down to a meeting of the Conservation Commission, the Sewer Commission, and Dave Taylor.
So Concom is a conservation commission, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is Doug Delemmy, is he out of Rockland or where is he based out of?
He's the
His
chair.
family's lived in this town since before Christ was a carpenter.
Huh? Okay.
I'll be your new quick racing.
I love it.
Okay,
All right.
before we get into superintendent's discussion, I wanna go into a couple more things. I'm gonna put contract operations, I'm putting drainage away,
All right, before we, well.
Yeah, please, no, please.
I got miscellaneous stuff that.
Oh, no, we're gonna go into it, but I just
Yes,
want,
we'll get to it.
okay. Dan, unfortunately, I have to shut the door for this.
Why, nobody's here?
It doesn't matter. What I wanna talk about is the Veolia contract. What I have for you here is a series of emails that have been ongoing between myself and Chris Kenny. A series of emails between myself and Chris, that this is confidential. I'm not gonna disclose what's in those emails, that's for the board's eyes only.
Okay.
But I want you to know that I have been in discussion with Chris regarding the Veolia contract. My last conversation with them, please tell me I put it in here, I didn't.
So what does this mean, Chuck? This can only, this
Hold
has
on,
to
he's
stand
gonna
on.
tell us.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell us.
Okay, now, this is a letter that it's an email, it's going to me, from me, but I was gonna send this to Chris tonight. So I want you guys to see it before I do so. And this is confidential and it stays here.
Okay.
How much you gonna pay me?
Okay, but let me go into some background information before we read this email. All right? I started about November talking to Rick and Chris and Doug regarding the Veolia contract. The Veolia contract initially was from Suez. Suez purchased Veolia last year or the year before, so they assumed the contract. Veolia is a worldwide organization. Being such, they have an extremely higher overhead than a smaller Suez did. When the Suez contract was negotiated, they put in that it was a 5-year contract, and if it mutually agreed upon between both parties, being Rockland, the commissioners, and Suez, that there'd be 2 5-year renewals. This is the first of those 5-year renewals. Now, personally, I didn't like that, but I was overruled in the previous board because you're realistically tying yourself into 15 years, and God knows what the industry does in 15 years. A good case in point is the fact that Veolia bought out Suez, and Veolia has a much higher overhead. Now, that didn't affect the first 5 years, but I knew it was going to affect the balance of that. So I started asking, is there a way we could get out of that extension? And it started coming in, and you'll see that in the translation of the email set. A lot of verbiage went back and forth, and I had my concerns about being locked in. They agreed. But then I pointed out that it doesn't say shall be 2 automatic renewals. It's at may enter. So it means it had to be optional.
Yep.
So as the communications progress and I'm watching the bills come in, I knew off the bat that maybe 25, fiscal year 25 would be get by the skin of our teeth, but would be in real pain in fiscal year 26, 2 years out. So I started conversations, well, I'd like to go out to bid. And this is before I sat down and met with Veolia. Now Veolia, I met with them again, and they gave me some numbers. This was in January. I said, come back in the end of February when you have some solid numbers with the consumer price index. Well, they came in and said they were gonna, and you run right by me, 3.5%, no, they said 4%.
3.5 to 4.4.
4.4% increase, which is the cost effective. I gave them 3.5. I said, I'll pay maybe I'll pay 3.5%. Well, they said, well, we're also going to include 40 hours of free engineering services at no charge.
Hmm.
Well, then I saw that what they were projecting to cost us for a basic operations year is $2.373 million, which is what we bet on this 7%. Now, if you put that 3.73, that is a 5.3% increase consumer cost index. So we're not getting free engineering services. We're paying for it.
Yeah, just checking, okay.
They're just playing games with the number.
Yeah.
So, if you look at my last email, this is my last train of thought, that if you read through that, I'll let the accountant do her numbers. This is my response to Chris on what I would like to do, but what I want to do has to be what the board wants me to do. So I'm gonna ask you to read that for a moment.
What's that? This is the letter?
That's the email I'm gonna send today, if Sherry and Dan agree.
Right, okay.
Now, one of my main concerns was being caught with our pants down where the contract expires July 1. So without saying number, and naturally, I did not approach it when they're coming out of the woodwork, because everyone knows when our contract's up. How you going out to bid, yada. Listening to other vendors, and especially if I change the verbiage on the requested bid, the biggest problem we'd have is if we get caught with our pants down and the contract's up. I did take the opportunity to speak with Weston Sampson, Wright Pierce, and I know be Hoyle and Tanner in the same boat. They could step in and take care of us on an emergency basis. They may also bid on a longer term contract, but if they come in on an emergency basis, I would say it as a 1 year deal. I would say Weston Sampson would be more prone to jump on that at a lower price because they have a lot more to lose as far as the I&I work and all the other contracts we have with them. So I'm not really worried about getting caught at that point. Now, I spoke to Chris again, and you'll see that in the correspondence, as long as we go out to bid. Well, I can put the bid window out for anywhere from 2 weeks to 1 month to 2 months. It's up to me. Now, what I would do, rather than go out to a contract, I would lock myself away for the next week and modify our previous request for proposal on the previous operations contract and just change the wording around. Update it. Now, one of the things I want to do is that they wanted, basically, so as to get that, I don't want to say that, but they wanted to narrow the opportunities to firms that had experience in New England. What I want to do is open it up to a broader spectrum to get smaller firms in whose overhead would be cheaper, and it would also possibly open us up for further opportunities for, they may know of other opportunities for sludge disposal, which is a real constraint on us right now. I am very, very, very confident that we could get an operations contract, if we play hardball, not to exceed $2 million for the first year. Now, if we could do that, that would free up $372,000 that we're budgeted for to be allocated to other areas if need be.
So my question is, what would be the cost to make a transition like that?
When you do a transition to that, think of it, the vehicles go that, it'll be all in that initial contract. Everything will be, it'll be apples for apples. It'd be the same contract, the same parameters.
Okay, so no turnover costs.
And we keep the same staff. That was one of my, it's gonna be my priorities. And I know that can be done.
Really?
Please don't ask me how. So, what I'm asking you and what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow night is that's a lot to ask of you right now. I think you're gonna have more questions tomorrow night. I wanted to have it in this forum to lessen the potential of outside watches tipping negotiation points. So I'm gonna probably be under other items tomorrow night, adding a Veolia contract discussion.
Should this be under executive session?
Huh?
Should this be under executive session?
No, I asked Chris Kenny if we could do that under executive contract. No, because it doesn't fall under personnel right now. He may come back, once I send this out, I'll say, based on this, do we have an executive session, which I'd scheduled for Monday of next week or Tuesday of next week. But I'll find that out tonight once I send it to him. All I'm looking for right now is, do I have your permission to send this to Chris Kenny for consideration? I'm not asking you to vote on whether we do it or not, but I'd like to get his opinion on it.
Yeah.
So all I'm asking for is a vote of approval to send this email to Chris Kenny to get his opinion on for discussion.
When you want us to vote?
Huh?
When do you?
I want to open a vote on that now. I'll send the email
I'll
tonight.
make the motion,
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, Mr. Ross,
yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. Again, it's only to cement our negotiating position on what we can and can't do without violating the OML.
I mean, by that
I mean,
five-year
fulfillment.
contract, they could jump up as much as
Well,
they
no,
want.
what the way it reads is they could put in, the consumer cost and price index, but they also have to redo their overhead structure, regardless how they, and you gotta remember we're talking apples and oranges with Veolia and Suez. Suez is a small player, Veolia is worldwide.
They can always make a bid.
Really, I thought Suez.
Suez is worldwide too, but not on this, not
No.
on the same
Not as Veolia.
stage
Okay.
level as Veolia. Now, where it else could, it may hurt us, but I'm not sure if it does. I'm looking at procurement as far as chemicals, and then Veolia's got a lot of pull
Yeah.
as far as chemical buying. But we can work in the negotiations on chemical that we're not gonna pay more than a fair markup of industry standard markup or what. I mean, once we get into that proposal and select a vendor, that's when we get into the nitty gritty of discussion and negotiation.
Sure.
But I think my personal opinion is that it's such a volatile industry, to lock yourself up for that kind of time is nuts.
Can I ask something? Who does Brockton's sewers?
Veolia,
Veolia. And Taunton.
Anton, and New Bedford,
Yep. Fall River too, I think, don't they?
Fall River, yeah.
Yeah, they do quite a few.
Where I'm looking
Who
for,
does Hull?
huh?
Who does Hull? I thought they had their own people.
How does MWRA?
They got a sewer treatment plant down the end of the gut.
Yeah, but I think they have a small one, but I don't, oh, Weston Sampson.
Yeah, Weston and Sampson, they do quite a few. They
But you can
actually,
also remember, if we look at a Weston, and you know, everyone's gonna have a chance to bid on this. I'm not saying
And
it's
you
gonna
can
be a
match.
narrow one. I'm gonna send it out to bid, publish, anyone and their uncle can bid on this.
Hey, who runs Plymouth? Do you know offhand?
I don't know, but we'll figure that out when we get it there. But what I'm doing is,
Yeah.
if you look at that email, I said I would like to open it up to other outside of New England. Maybe find a smaller firm that, naturally, we're gonna check their references, that they're capable, they can do it. I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna go by Mike's or Joe's Sewer Services Inc. I mean, I'm gonna find people who've done it. I'm gonna call the people that they're working for, is it solid? And I won't go have them give me a user's list, so they provide me with all your customers, and I'll select who I wanna call. That's how I did it last time. But Suez was already here for 20-something years at that point.
really that long, huh? No.
So that's really where we are as a Veolia contract discussions. I mean, again, we could stay status quo, but I'm looking to cut prices anywhere I can.
Yeah. The important thing is the service.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, naturally, if the service isn't there, it's not there. And you can rest assured, Veolia is gonna bid on it again anyway. You know, they don't wanna lose it. Veolia made a smart-ass comment that, well, even if you got a smaller company, we'll buy them out. Go ahead and I'll do the same friggin' thing again.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think you can get. Do you think you can get the same type of service from a smaller company?
I'm not worried about the service right now. Like I said, what I'm wanting to do is, well, I'm worried about is prices. Once I get
Right.
to see who's interested, who's not, then I'll do reference checks to see if
Right,
they're
right.
capable of it. If they come in at $1 and someone comes in at $10, and the one at $1 can't have the services, I'll go with the guy with 10.
Yeah, right. No.
You know, it's
She's
not my
over
first
to the
rodeo.
contract, and they don't follow the contract. Boom.
That is a really in-depth contract for request for bid that we put out. That's why it's gonna take me a week to go through it. And I mean, when I say lock myself away, I'm gonna have to lock myself away for that. But anyway, that's where we stand on that, and I just wanted to bring you up to speed so you understand where we're going. Before I turn it over to Mike and Sherry, I'm just gonna say, the big thing tomorrow is I need you to really, really look at the previous comments, correspondence on drainage. That is the focal of tomorrow night's meeting, because I think this is going somewhere I don't wanna go.
Are we having an open meeting or gonna be?
Oh, it's open meeting on tape.
It's gonna be on,
Zoom,
On
because it's at
Zoom,
7
yeah.
PM.
Like I said, I don't want anything under, because again, they're proposing charter changes. So that's tonight's selectmen's meeting, so that may be worth watching. Anyway, with that said, Sherry, do you have anything?
I do. As I mentioned, tomorrow night, the finance committee is giving their final approvals to all the town May meeting items. I would just like to verify, one of our articles is the authorization to borrow for the plant upgrade, and it's going in at 12.5. Is that correct?
Yes,
Perfect.
for this year, that can be changed next year if we need to.
Absolutely,
Yep,
yep,
no,
but it's it's an authorization to borrow up to 12.5.
Right, that's good.
And that's the authorization.
That's
Doesn't mean
solid.
we're going to go get that money right that next day.
Right, no,
but
that's
that's
fine.
solid. Okay, so I will be sending an email to Doug and Scott saying that 12.5 is accurate, and that the budget will be balanced because the board has agreed to increase rates to cover the 20,000. Perfect.
Okay.
That takes care of that. The effluent meters, do we wanna vote tomorrow night on using the funds from our development fees?
Is that something we can do now?
I haven't received the actual quotes.
Okay, let's wait till you get the actual quotes.
Labor.
I thought someone was gonna give us those
Yes.
figures.
Yes,
was
Rick
supposed
is
to-
working on that. Can you get with Rick and get the 3 quotes on the labor installation, please?
Okay, so,
And send out copies to us, so we have for the meeting tomorrow
And-
night.
And the copy, yeah, he's got the quotes on the actual meters. I haven't seen
so
them, but he
Rick,
has them.
quotes,
So if you could just
for
get the whole procurement package, we can
install.
vote on it.
and meters. This is the effluent, right?
Yeah, the three effluent meters. We're looking at about 34K, which is not an issue with that account. So we'll vote on that tomorrow night.
Okay.
Please make sure you bring that up.
Yeah, I'm making a note. Yeah, because we need to. There's an issue with the broken manhole and paving up at Spruce Street.
What?
Spruce Street
Not aware
pump
of that, not a-
station, the Spruce Street pump station. Rick sent an email, and I believe you have a copy of it, for a broken manhole and paving or fencing.
Yes, I wanna get quotes on
So
that,
we're
that's
waiting
gonna
on
be,
quotes.
I want
Okay.
quotes on that because that's gonna be over 10,000.
Alright,
I
so,
want 3 quotes.
put that, alright, I'll forward this to you. Alright.
If you notice, he said he'd get Dan Delta quote on it. We're not going with one vendor, I want quotes.
Got it,
Yeah, I'll let Rick know, I'm gonna talk to him, so. So what's this, this is Spruce Street, right?
yeah, pump station.
You were copied on that email.
Yep.
He's coming on part of it,
Alright,
but I'll make sure he gets the information. And then the last is a purchase of 41,000 for the clarifiers, scum trials, blah, blah, blah.
right, we approved
Which
that, that was for the
We did all
repairs.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming out of our emergency fund?
Yeah, that's a, we don't have a choice to do. Oh, I'm glad you brought up one, what was it,
Is there another 10K added to that or something?
no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Robin brought up to my attention, you may wanna have a discussion with her. When we did the fees back last year, we upped, we had a sewer maintenance fee.
Yes,
We never allocated specifically where those funds are going to.
oh,
So we have to create an account for that.
okay.
So what I'd like to do that is that working session also next week. Maybe you could touch base with her and give me your thoughts where you think they should go. When we did that just to, I think we did
That is the
that,
sewer repair and maintenance, which is $20.
yeah.
Okay,
And we
so-
had another, yeah, we didn't say where those fees were gonna be allocated. I'll send you some more paperwork tonight that I have on that.
Oh, okay,
So this right here, we need to get an account from, town hall,
yes,
right,
yes.
so that we
And a
can have.
description of what these funds are to be
Right.
used for.
In this way right here, they'll be put in that bucket, that account, and then
Yes,
we
and
can use it.
it'll be a revolving account bucket.
Do
so
we have
they
any
always have
idea
it.
how much will be in that account?
No, we're gonna be,
How much?
that's what I gotta give, because the
Okay.
reason that didn't come into effect and we backburned it is because we had no connections coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now we're looking at, we will be approving 320, to go ahead, and then we also have Manzella and possibly Holy
With
Family.
Family Group.
And that is pending what, EPA input?
Pete, what I wanna do is the 320, if Beechwood Estates comes off the books, that flow is allocated, so we can give that up. That covers Manzella and 320,
Yes.
because it's a
Would you say
wash,
so?
What'd you say?
So-
because that's a
So
wash.
this is the same as that.
Yep.
Okay.
The other one would be Holy Family, and I think we covered that with the moratorium. And that,
Yeah.
we covered that with Holy the moratorium, and I wanted to double check that with EPA
Oh, yeah.
before we approve that one.
How's the water today?
Hmm?
How's the water level today, the flow?
It's at 3.3 right now. But you gotta remember that
Is
it's
that
really
still
not
raining?
allocated, they were skimming for the longest time. This
Alright.
place has been pushing, I think,
I know.
4.2 for a good 3-4 weeks now without the skimming.
Alright, so you want me to bring up Chuck?
Okay, wait a minute, let me just figure where we are now. Contract operations, I'm gonna send you, Sherry, a copy of this, what we've spent. I'm not
I
gonna-
have that sheet.
Okay,
Fees, article,
Alright, and Chuck, can you say?
let's see, we done with fees first, that's all.
okay. I'm gonna put this under fees because it has to do with ARPA funds allocations. The bid for generator install, have we,
That paperwork is being, okay, the generator install. Hans Violi had backed away from the project, which was when, before they came in with that fee, because there was no profit in it for them. And they were dragging it out. We were gonna lose the ARPA funding on
yeah,
that.
that's my concern.
So, the last group meeting, Hans was told to fish a cut bait. You
Yep.
win or you're out.
Yep.
They came in and said they're out.
Yep.
We turned around, I turned around and gave it to Wright Pierce. Wright Pierce is handling it. Wright Pierce has assured us that we'll have a scope of work for the installation by end of April, first week of May, which meets all the ARPA requirements, as long as it goes out to bid, which it will.
Right.
And Doug's aware of this.
Doug is aware of that. Doug has the email. Doug is gonna, on all my correspondence. I did not
I
CC
lost-
you because I
That's,
did not.
then that's
Well,
fine, I
what,
just
no,
lost
so
sight
now
of it.
that I've disclosed that to you, I can send you copies of all the emails.
Okay, that sounds good.
Uh,
Copy, my friend.
yeah, he's on it. You are on him.
Okay.
You already received
You
it.
already got him.
I did.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, put that on our discussion list. Okay,
All
I
right.
am finished.
You're not?
I'm done.
Okay, you.
Okay.
You.
So for the drainage, you said you were gonna send it to,
I'm gonna send it over to Doug. That's a boy, Dan. Walk it off.
No, just trying.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it to Doug Galemi and say, Doug, tomorrow night, we're gonna be discussing this. I'm gonna send it and have him, where are your priorities? What do you prioritize of that? Because we're not gonna be able to do all.
alright, now, so this, Kevin Grady, this is 53 Airport Park Road.
That is that package right there.
Right,
50,
so,
okay, let me explain so that they know what it is. 53 Airport Drive, Park, okay, you explain the project.
oh, go ahead, so,
No,
no,
go
that's
ahead,
fine.
explain the project first.
Okay, so
What is
what
this?
this is, they're going to, I had a write-up on it, is there a write-up there? I don't know if it's gone.
I don't know.
It's down by the old all-said glass company.
No, up in that side street, Airport Drive.
Where is it?
Alright,
You get on,
so,
excuse me, you get on VFW Parkway, and as the road turns going to Weymouth, it's, you know where the Pop Place is, right after the Pop
Yep.
Place up in there? How do you know where the Pop Place is?
I don't know. You know why? Because right before is this huge sign that says don't,
Pop Place.
says don't do
so,
drugs.
let me read, also read it to you. It says, dear board members, on behalf of the applicant, we hereby submit the application for sewer service at the above reference address, which is 53 Airport Park Drive. The owner is proposing to rehab an existing warehouse that was constructed in 1975 for their own warehouse use. The applicant proposes to utilize the existing sewer service based on water use records. The applicant is proposing a reduction in flows from the previous user. User flows have been calculated as shown below. Sewer flow existing water usage 261 gallons per day. Proposed flow 10 employees by 15 gallons per day is 150. So, and actually, they're looking at a reduction. So I guess instead of having this gentleman come in, seeing how it's a wash pretty much, I guess what I'm looking for the board to do is to say that it's approved.
Is this a
we-
change of use? No.
So it's not technically not a change of
Okay.
use. It's just an ad, but it's a wash. He had approached us, if you recall, about, I wanna say back in October, November.
Vaguely,
I wanna say it was October, about this, and we agreed that it was gonna be a wash, and it was just, we had told him, just put in the paperwork as a formality.
Was this the guy that was gonna put the addition on the building and everything?
Yeah. No, I don't see any real reason for them to come in, waste the time for a meeting and pay a consultant's cost, unless the board feels different.
And it does not appear that the moratorium would have any impact on
No,
this.
it does not have anything to do with them, it's not a change of use.
It's not a change of use, there's no extra flow. There's no I&I remediation to be done. I
You wanna-
don't see any objection.
Do you wanna make a motion to just approve and approve his connection?
Have we looked at his plans and so forth?
I've looked at them, but if you guys wanna look at them again and go over them.
No, I just wanna know.
He's already connected, right?
He's already connected, he's
Yeah.
adding like a shower and
I
top and stuff,
I
and
thought it was just a toilet.
it is, it's just,
Okay.
it's really a nothing. I just don't wanna see the guy incurring more, to be honest, incurring more engineering
No,
fees
okay.
by having this consultant come in.
No problem, I'll make a motion,
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
let it in.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, the motion is to approve the connection, the request for addition to senior service at 53 Airport Drive.
What's the name of the company that was in there before?
I forget, but we have, it's gonna be reduction of use, so I make a motion that, okay, we have the motion to approve.
Second?
We have the second, all in favor, Mr. DeRoss?
Yes.
Ms. Valley?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Tell Robin to notify the gentleman his,
Should I do that, or does Robin do that?
Robin would notify him, you gotta put the fee schedule together for him.
I put the fee schedule together?
Yeah, Robin has copies of that.
Alright, so,
And if you don't wanna bother Robin, maybe I can, I'm sure I can help you with it. There's there's a form.
This
We have
is
a
the
fee
template
matrix that we wanna use
So
to
is-
put in.
Does he have a tie-in connection?
He has a connection.
Right, so that's not applicable.
He needs a permit fee.
It's gonna need. Is that the permit tie-in connection? Is that the
It's
same
$150,
thing?
he needs
Oh,
that.
150,
right.
alright.
And then he doesn't need anything else, right?
He needs a sewer maintenance fee because that's new, we haven't been charging that yet,
But it's
so
per
$20 a gallon.
Per 110 gallons.
It's $20 a gallon.
Right, so he needs a sewer maintenance fee.
That's residential,
Yeah,
it's commercial. We have it on the commercial as well.
Okay.
I will send you a blank fee and then you can just look at it and plug in the numbers.
yeah, and then send it back and let him check it.
Okay.
Or have her check it.
Learning experience.
Okay.
I'll check it.
I don't know, I missed it.
Well, no, I'll
I missed the fees.
I'll
I
take
may
care
not
of
be the
that.
one
These
to
are
do that.
connections. He's not a new connection, so these
So-
fees are not
Okay.
applicable. His waters are though, because he's old, but where he's asking for a new permit, he's gonna have to pay the maintenance fees.
Alright, so I guess, so this is residential, right?
It's up on the website.
Yeah,
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
so he would be, this is consistent,
He's commercial
that's
industrial, yes.
commercial.
right, this is commercial, right?
If it was a new installation, that would,
Right, if it was a new building, but it's not,
But it's not a new building.
so it's very, that's the previous.
Okay,
what else you have, dude?
alright, well, I still got some questions on that before
Okay.
we talk about it.
Oh, we talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about why we're all here.
Okay, so I guess I don't
This is
understand, so
the-
it's $150
For the permit.
It's
They
a, right,
got
I
a
got
permit.
that, it's a $100 permit fee, and then what, is there an additional fee to that too?
He's gonna have to pay $20 a gallon, that's it.
Oh, okay, so
So that's the one I'll send you, because that's not on there, that's a new fee we put in.
$20 per gallon on Chuck,
I'll send you the
Send.
fee breakout.
so it's commercial
Commercial R&M fee.
fees. Alright, and then, I wanna talk a little bit about, Wilkinson, the biogas project. Alright, this
That's
is,
piping.
yep, the piping
He
project,
calls
yep,
it biogas.
Yeah.
biogas piping.
Yeah.
Alright, let me see, so. Wilkinson came on site on 2/29/2024. They had their, contractor Deco, went into the, went across the street, into the room, and they took some measurements. And they have an instrument that can actually, it's almost like a survey tool that can go from one point to the other point and take all the measurements as like a 3D holograph. It's pretty cool how they do it. So they did that. Deco is the company, is their contract that does all the off-site prefab of the pipes. So
You're gonna be working for Hallam.
right, they do all the prefabrications of welding the pipes. On 3/5/2024, spoke to Mike Snee. Jay drove to meet with the state to find out to get find a way to get. They have not received the approval for the variance. We have received approval for the variance, but he went up there. On 3/13, email from Wilkinson, the approved variance has been received, the equipment order has been released, and the piping prefab is moving forward. Mike Snee will let me know when they will be on site, start date. Today, Jay called me up from Wilkinson, working on design and approving the piping. Estimated ship date for the equipment is 7/31/2024.
So that puts him beyond his 180 days.
No, his 180 days is in August.
Okay.
Okay, so estimated ship date for the equipment, 7/31/2024. Waiting for an on-site start date. But as we speak, they are prefabbing welding the pipe.
Okay. Watch them on the dates, because this is how it started out. This is where they started losing it.
Okay.
When I say losing it, that's when things started to slide out further and further.
Okay, so what do they say here?
So the start
Yeah,
date.
so the 180 days from the date that was signed is August 1st, 2024.
All right.
So
Once
you're
we
right,
get on
so
top
it's
of it,
7/31. It's pretty freaking close, right?
Because
It's a
the
day.
731 is on site. That's not
Wait a
even
minute.
completing the work.
No,
It's one
7/30.
day.
Huh?
August, from 7/31 to August 1st?
Yeah, it's one day.
That's one day.
Yeah,
That's why I
It's not
said
gonna
it.
work.
yeah. The piping estimate ship date for the equipment.
Ship date.
That's the ship date for the
Yeah,
equipment.
that's not even here.
So you're gonna have to bring, that's why I said it to you. I need you to pick up on these things, because
Yep.
you're gonna tell him now, you just blew the 180 day. He's in violation of the contract. I'm gonna hold him to it.
Yeah. Do we
After the last
do we
time.
have a penalty written into that
Yeah.
contract?
$1,000 a day.
So
Yes.
tell him,
Credit or
I
payment?
tell him that's on his stick.
Okay.
I would put that in writing.
Yep.
Say, I would just notify him in writing
Yeah.
that you have concerns with the date you provided, because that leaves you 1 day to complete the contract. How do you plan on dealing with that? But document it in email, CC the board on that. And again, I was not being hostile to a vendor. It's just that last go-round was ugly.
Yeah, I'll just say, okay, 180 days. Yeah, good point. All right,
And no
I'll take it.
offense, but if he starts
Waffling.
waffling or one crump, tell him, schedule a meeting and talk to the board.
You know what I'll do is, I'll send him an email.
You work it out, however you
Well,
wanna
I'm gonna
work
send
it
him an
out.
email, I'll say, hey, just to confirm, this is what you said,
As per our
and, yeah, as
conversation.
per our conversation, just to let you know, 180 days from.
It's not gonna meet the contract.
Yeah, Right, something like that, yep. So in case maybe I misheard him, maybe it's
That's
an
okay.
error, yeah.
Oh, you didn't misread it.
Oh, I know I did, but just in case. I know I
Just
did.
get a black and white.
That's why I
I
said
wrote it
it,
down.
that's why I said it to you, about the 180 days.
I didn't even think of that, you know what, you're right, I was looking at, cause I got everything written down here, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck's right, I'm just looking at the sheet right here, it's 180 days is August 1st. That's the deadline. There's your timeline.
What about Weston Sampson on the,
Oh yeah, that's right, so a couple of things, so, I don't know about Spruce Street, but I.
this is the warranty work, that,
Yeah.
the I&I warranty work, that they were all last week, and this.
So that's done. The warranty work that was finished for the I&I, that ended yesterday. That's
Did
done.
they find anything that broke the 10% criteria?
I don't believe so. She said she would send, I asked her how everything went. She said fine, everything went okay. And she said she'll be getting us a report probably sometime during the summer. This is Laurie.
Summer.
Don't sound right, but I'll talk to Frank
That's-
about that.
Is this the company going around checking for leaks and stuff?
Yeah, that's in Lamontas.
What they're doing is, so all the I&I remediation work that was done previously, they have to go back and check, I think it's 10 to 15%, and they go back and check it to see if it's leaking. That's warranty work, if it, based on the spec, on the,
If it violated the pressure test by.
Yeah, if it
they
violated
have
by
to go back and do another
7%.
15%.
is it 7 or 15?
15.
Okay, then they have to add some more, what is it, it's the.
If they have to add more
grouting.
grout to that, more than 10% of it, they do a 10% inspection. If they had to add grout to more than 10% of their repairs, then they have to go out and do an additional 15% of the work. All they had under contract to do 10% of their repair work. If they found anything that violated the criteria, inspection criteria, the pressure test leaks, what have you, then they had to do another 15%.
I don't think they did, Chuck, because they were supposed to be done last Friday, and they haven't until Monday.
They would have notified.
Yeah, so they're good, I'm pretty sure they're good. Now, the other thing is Spruce Street.
Well, before you do that, well, we're still on the same thing. Why don't you tell them what you saw on Reed Street?
Oh, yeah, Reed Street, I was out there and I sent.
There's Lower Reed.
I sent Chuck a picture, and we had one of the manholes. This is where we were doing they were doing I&I service work, and he pulled over the manhole, and I thought you ever go to the Heron Run, Nemasket? I don't know. Is there a Heron Run here in
Yeah,
Rockland?
it's one, it's one in Weymouth.
All right, there's one in Weymouth. So there's a couple in Middleborough. There's Wareham Street, and there's Oliver Mill Park. I thought I was in front of Oliver Mill Park listening to the water run. That's how bad it was.
Lower Reed Street,
This was an open manhole.
Yeah.
and that was before the rains. Well,
Right.
just way after the rains. Lower Reed Street, if you look, it's behind the new school.
Oh,
At any given time after a rainstorm, historically, you could hear the water running through those pipes. What had me nervous was that you literally could hear it with traffic above ground since they put that in the school. So that water displaces, so it had to go somewhere. So they've got a good leak over there, and I have a feeling that is all sump pump.
Now this was in the this is like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning when everybody's at work.
when it should be a low.
So it should be very low
Yeah,
flow.
so that's why it's sump pumps.
I don't know. I mean, Chuck's probably right, but I don't know what it is. All I could say, I sent a picture to Chuck. I sent a video, and
You could hear it.
yeah, like I said, I thought I was at a river. That's how loud it was.
See, that's where you're gonna run into, the thing if we do smoke testing and that, some pumps are not illegal. If that was a storm drain that you heard,
Yeah, that was not a storm drain. It was sewer.
if it was sewer, then there's a problem, someone's connected to a
Yeah,
sewer
it's
pipe.
sewer. Yeah, I sent you
If-
that.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but if you can see that in the sewer pipe, then some pump is connected to that sewer pipe.
Yeah, you could when you looked at it, the water was clear. It was clean.
Yeah,
So it
And
wasn't.
that's coming from downhill.
yeah.
From the
Yeah,
fire
and that
thing.
goes back to that program.
There was
We
no
need to-
paper, no nothing like that.
Okay, so now go into that conversation that we've had with you guys weren't part of it. This is with the base we were talking about, inflow with some pumps, roof drains, etc. When we were doing the Jefferson School, we found that all the roof drains were connected to sewer. Now, that was an older school, so it has to lead you to believe the fact that all the older buildings uptown,
Same way.
roof drains, are probably connected to
old.
sewer. right?
Yeah.
Things like E.T. Wright and all, you go down Union Street. So
The bags.
what we did is we said, okay, and it's something we have to discuss as a board, which I think we get a bigger bang from. We wouldn't get a bang on I&I, but we'd get a good enlightenment. I think if we smoke tested just Union Street and some of the older side streets like Pacific, what have you, you're gonna see a lot of those roof drains in the older buildings of town, like the Trust, Town Hall possibly, all connected to the sewer. Now, the Town Hall, the peak of Union Street would all flow into that Reed Street pipe, which all those older buildings like the type. For those of you who lived in town, Peterson's, where Peterson's used to be, and that whole, right at the top of Town
Top of
Hall,
the hill, yeah.
all of those, I bet you, all those roofs feed into sewer.
I believe it.
Now, those, we can go after, we can smoke test them and give the owners X amount of time. What I'm not gonna touch right now is sump pumps, people need the sump pumps. But we'll work on something to come up with that.
Can't do that till we get this whole program
Right.
in place. Yep.
So we're gonna have to decide, when it comes to year 3 I&I work, do we wanna do zones 9 and 13, or do we wanna just do a smoke testing? But that's for another discussion. What else do you have?
That's it.
Okay.
What about you? What's in your endeavor? Are you picking up anything? Do you think you could solo on the street?
As far as what do you mean? So
Day-to-day activities, could you won't? And I'm just asking in general, you know, just be honest,
I mean,
could you go
it's,
out on the street and do a
so-
construction job and watch it, know what to tell them or what you're looking at, or
a construction job,
like if they're laying a pipe, or if, well, really you haven't had any inspections,
Hasn't
so
been any,
that'll,
really.
I'll do and Pat
Yeah.
Brennan with you, but going on calls, are you comfortable going on calls, are you?
So I've been on some calls, but like you're talking about calls as far as dig safe calls?
No, dig safe calls, what I'm talking about is like a blockage, I'm talking about a broken pipe, or,
I mean, I've been on a few. I mean, should I go on a few more? Probably.
oh, I think you should go to every one.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had any yet. We haven't had recently.
Anytime there's a blockage, you should be responding to every single one.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and I plan on it, but we haven't
Alright.
had any anytime
Okay,
soon.
that's a good thing, huh?
That's good.
So I mean, with the last one I went on was at Liberty Street. I told you about the one on
Yeah.
Liberty Street. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to any kind of work out on the road, I've been going on those. Yeah.
All right, no, that's what's good, that we should be doing.
Yeah.
Getting involved in that. You've gotta get to a point where, do you think you could handle just taking over the upgrade project? Right? And I want you to be blunt, yes, no?
The upgrade project.
The facility upgrade, because one thing we've got to do, and again, don't take this the wrong way, because I do not want to come off an amount of it. I've been doing a lot of the background work that the super should be doing, because the reason is that we'd want a super to do that is to keep our engineering costs down.
Right.
Remember, like Weston Sampson, right, yes, you pick up the phone, the egg time it goes over.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
So we gotta minimize their calls, and if you're not, this is the time to be honest, and
Well-
I have no problem with that.
You're right, but the thing is, Chuck, what should be going on, Chuck, is when you're doing this stuff, when you're doing that, you should be. I would appreciate it if you involve me.
I haven't done anything without you.
Like, what do you mean? I guess.
You've been to all the meetings, that's all I've been
Oh
to.
yeah.
Any background
Yeah.
communication you've been copied on, that's what I'm saying right now, but once the one more thing, we're gonna be going into the design work now, that's gonna be some
Okay.
serious time.
Okay.
As you both know, Megan's left, so we're gonna be losing, but Rick is interviewing someone tonight he feels fairly capable, and the thing I like it too, is that the guy seems to have something going mechanically. What I'm gonna ask Rick to do is, for the time being, without Megan, I want Chuck Emerald to be in all the meetings with the upgrade, because right now, he knows the best qualified to know the operation of this entire facility.
Who's Chuck Hammer?
Chucky.
Oh, Chuck.
He's
Chuck.
got the office.
Yeah.
right-
Okay. Yeah. I know Chuck.
He
Yeah.
usually does all the mechanical work, but as far as knowing what's going on and what needs to be done, he's the guy that should be in here with Rick. Rick is great, but Rick is, I think, at the stage that he's getting really close to retirement and punching out.
How old's Rick?
65, 63.
Oh, really? I didn't think he was that old.
So you think Rick is gonna be retiring soon?
I think Rick is gonna, we've had conversations, I think he's planning on going 2.5 years.
Oh, okay, so now,
I went at 63.
But the thing is, you gotta remember that this stuff is not, he'll be gone when this stuff, the concrete, the shovel hits the ground.
oh, when we start doing the upgrade.
Yeah, I think that,
So you're gonna have
The point
to
is
really,
it's
really
coming
get
to
into
you.
the absolute nitty gritty. When those prints start hitting this table, that's when you really gotta start to focus. But you gotta not only do that, but the other thing, you gotta juggle all the other stuff.
Yep.
So, again, you're the only one that knows when to get your hand in the air, because if you're telling me you're comfortable, I'm gonna start backing off. So you gotta tell me when.
Okay.
He'll go fishing.
Yeah, Vermont's opening up soon. Well, that's all I had to say. Tomorrow night, like I said, I really wanna focus in on the drainage and possibly, well, I wanna get into discussion on the fees tomorrow night, so people know they're coming. And tomorrow night, we're gonna vote on the senior.
okay.
And we need to vote tomorrow night we're gonna vote to raise the fees before the end of the year. We don't have to say what the fees will be, but we are gonna let them know we will be voting on another increase. Probably, do we have till the April meeting to do that, or?
Yes, as long as we have authorized that those fees will increase to cover the
Yeah.
current
We
the
can do
FY
that.
'25 budget. We've authorized that at this meeting,
Yes.
so the details
To
TBD.
follow.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send that email off to Chris Kenny now. You're gonna tell Robin just to notify those people.
Yep, and I'll copy you on it, and I'll say, well, and then I'll also say, Robin, Chuck is gonna send me the commercial fees.
Yeah.
And I'll,
Matrix.
yeah, matrix, and then, what do? Do I put together an email with Robin, how much it's gonna cost?
Yeah,
Like the
I'll
permit.
basically send me a copy of this if you would. I have it, I think, but
Yeah, you
just
do.
make sure, yeah, I should have a copy of that, yeah.
Calculate the fees. Chuck, you should check them, and then you can give it to Robin to send
Yeah,
to the
that'll do
customer.
that, that'll save you any miscommunication there. You can blame me.
Okay, yeah.
With that, I'll take a motion in the meeting.
Motion and the meeting.
Second,
Third, all in favor,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Ms. Valley?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes.